Hi everyone, I'm just going to walk you through how we're going to make our tomato and sausage pasta today. I've got a wee bit of a change of location. Some of you might recognise, but I am in the home economics classroom. I thought I would mix it up a wee bit. This recipe is quite straightforward. It's a good recipe to do that you can change, you can adapt it, add anything in. If you've got some maybe chicken that you had to use up, if you've got vegetables that are looking a bit sorry in your fridge, get them in. You can add in some chilies if you like it spicy, any other maybe paprika, any sort of spices that you have in your cupboards that can be added in. So the first thing I've done is I've set my oven to 200, and this is going to be for our sausages. All we're going to do is place them on a baking tray. Then these are going to go in the oven for 15 minutes, and that's that part. The next thing I want to do is just get a pot kind of half filled, cold water, or you could use boiling water, completely up to you. I've put this on a high heat. I'm using an electric cooker and oven here, so the highest heat on this is a 6. I want it on the highest heat so that I can get it to come up to the boil as soon as possible. Once this has reached the boil, when there's loads of bubbles in the pot, I'm going to add in my pasta, and I'd set about maybe a 10-minute timer or so. So in about 10 minutes time, once it's been boiling, I can drain it. Okay, our next part to concentrate on is the preparing of the vegetables. So you'll see that I've forgotten the pepper. When I went to do my Aldi shop yesterday, for some reason didn't add it onto my list. However, we have done pepper in our flatbread recipe. So if you would like, you can go back to look on our very first cooking together box, and there is how pepper should be prepared. But we're just wanting it kind of small chunks. Personally, that's how I would like it. So I'm just going to top and tail my courgette. I've got half a courgette, taking the top off. Again, this is completely up to you, but for this all to kind of cook at the same time, we want all the vegetables to be the same size. So slicing it down the middle, and then into strips. From here, I'm just going to cut it into chunks. So just into nice chunks. However you want to prepare this is completely up to you. This is just a kind of rough guide. So like that, and then again into strips and cubed. Here we go, and then we can just push that to the side. And our red onion. If you're wondering what this is that I've got underneath my board, again, all of our pupils have these underneath their chopping boards. We just call it a board grip, and it just kind of means that your board sticks to the surface instead of if it's on my desk, it slides about. Whereas this is the kind of material that just lets the board stick to it. So they're quite handy. So we want to take all the skin off of our red onion. The last time we'd done a red onion, again, was it maybe for the flatbread? It was just kind of roughly chopped, and again, you could absolutely do that with this, or if anyone wants to improve their knife skills, we can just have some nice finely diced. But you do not have to do finely diced onions. I know sometimes it can be a bit daunting, I know onions can be quite tricky. What part do you cut off? Just for reference, we are cutting the bottom off. When you turn over an onion, you can see where it's all going to the root. This root is going to hold it all together, which is why I've cut the bottom off. And then it's just nice thin slices to the root. Oh. Slide a bit, take it off, and then finely diced. If I had a pepper here, I would of course be doing the same, so I'll leave that to you. And our garlic, top and tail, and take the skin off. And I've put in our recipe to mince or to finely chop. Either way, it's just to get our garlic kind of relatively small, so that you don't, when you bite into our pasta sauce, you're not going to take a big massive chunk of garlic. So the way I would do this, maybe move that in a wee bit closer. And all I'm doing is just nice thin slices. Once I've done the thin slices, I'm just going to take my knife, I'll put it up there, my knife and drag it through. And then pushing the garlic back in, running my knife through it, pushing it back in. And I'm just going to keep doing that just for about, say, 20 seconds or so. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to gently heat my oil in a pan or a pot. Got some oil in there, I've had it on just for about 30 seconds or so. And I'm going to put in the veg. I've got this one at medium heat, so for me it's number 3. I want to slowly cook this. Oh, trying not to get it all over. So all of it in the pot. Of course you will have peppers as well. Right now I've just got my onion, my garlic and courgette. So I'm going to turn this up to number 4, and as I say, I want to cook this relatively slow. I don't want to burn or fry the onion, fry the courgette. The courgette's going to take slightly longer to cook than our onion, but if we do it nice and slow, they'll both be soft at the kind of same time. As you can see, I've still got my pasta in. Every so often, just going to give it a mix, just so nothing sticks to the bottom. Okay, so I've selected my veg off for about 8 minutes, I'd say, and I'm just going to add in the tomatoes and then give it a mix up. I'm just going to have this on a low heat. If this goes up too high, you're going to have tomato all over your clothes, or you'll end up with a nasty burn. Sorry, I know you probably just heard the school bell go off, but that's home time. So I'm just going to mix this all up, put it back on my heat here, and as I say, a low heat. So for me, I'm going to put it up to 3. So give it a mix. You can see it's already quite nice and colourful. The courgette always adds such a nice colour. I've also given you some basil in your packs. You can either choose to cut it up with a knife, or I'm just going to use my hands, tear it up. It's quite nice when you get a big bit of basil. I always think it's really fresh. It's quite summery as well, so especially this time of year. I mean, I'm looking out my window and I know it's raining. But we'll pretend it's summer, it is May. So rip it up or chop it finely, however you like it. It's completely up to you. Just don't put any of the stalks in, I leave them out. So it's just the leaves that we want. And rip them up. And then we're going to mix it all together again. And I'm just going to leave this on for a couple of minutes. As I leave this to kind of simmer, so just kind of gently bubbling away, I am going to check on the sausages. Okay, the sausages are ready. Pasta is still boiling away. It needs another couple of minutes. And I've got my pasta sauce and the veg just on a gentle simmer just now. So with your veggie sausages, again, it's up to you. Personally, I would just slice them, just like this. Or you can cut them in half, turn them over, and then you're going to have half circles. You might want to leave these to cool down slightly because they can be quite hot on your fingers. But it's completely up to you if you want to kind of have big chunks of sausage throughout your pasta or kind of smaller ones. Even still, you could cut that even smaller and just have even smaller wee chunks. Completely up to you. Okay, I have added in the sausages to the sauce. Mixed it all up, tasted it. At this point you can add salt and pepper or any of the spices that you might have in your cupboard. I'm now just going to gradually add to my pot of pasta. Just add kind of small parts at a time, depending on the size of your pot. My pot's a wee bit smaller, so I'm just going to add it in about 3 stages. Just so that you know that all the pasta shells are going to get covered in, or get coated in a bit of sauce. Make sure you scrape around the side of your pot. You want to get it all out, don't waste anything. There's always onions sticking to the side, so scrape them out and mix it up. And again, you maybe at this point want to season it again, give it a taste, add some more salt and pepper, add any spices. From here, we're then going to add it into your bowls. Of course, if you're just feeding 2, you're feeding 3, you can always have this for lunch. This could be eaten cold. I often quite even actually eat my pasta cold. But just make sure that you're really kind of getting all this pasta coated in the sauce. Okay, just our final bit with the feta. You don't have to use a knife for this, just use your fingers, your finger and your thumb even, and just crumble it on top. Feta's quite nice, again it's quite summery, but you get in a Greek salad, so if you're eating it, just think that you're in somewhere that's not rainy Glasgow, somewhere nice and sunny and hot. And that is the tomato pasta. I have used chopped tomatoes for this pasta, which is why it's maybe not going to be as tomatoey as what yours is. For your packs I've got in passata, that is kind of blended tomato, so it will coat your pasta a lot nicer than what this one is. Enjoy!